Let's bring in media writer for The Australian now, Sophie Ellsworth. Sophie, we'll get into the Dick Smith v ABC craziness. I love that story. That's gone global. We've got Elon Musk weighing in on it. But I want to start with the US, where the Democratic strategist James Carville has said that one reason why President Biden's popularity is plummeting in many polls is that the Democrats have a women problem, in that there are too many of them having too much of a say. In an interview with the New York Times, he said, "A suspicion of mine is that there are too many preachy females. Don't drink beer, don't watch football, don't eat hamburgers. This is not good for you. The message is too feminine. Everything you're doing is destroying the planet. You've got to eat your peas." Oh, Sophie, James Carville is a darling of the left, but these comments are controversial.
Oh, they are, Rita, and no one wants preachy females who say, I don't do this, I don't do that, and we should do this and should do that. So I actually think he makes a pretty good point there, and it's really important coming up to the election that we don't have all these preachy females that are telling us how to live our lives. So I think there's some pretty valid points there, Rita.
Now, Facebook's parent company Meta will now be recommending less political content on your Instagram feed and Threads. If you're on Threads, I don't know anyone who is. They've changed the algorithms as we head into the US election. So if the suggestion is that this is going to be applied evenly across the board, but we know how left-leaning Meta can be. We saw Facebook ban the New York Post Hunter Biden laptop story before the 2020 election, and Mark Zuckerberg, well, he personally donated around $400 million to help fortify the election. So there is suspicion out there among the Republicans that this is an effort to influence the election.
Well, Rachel, I think this is very concerning heading into the election. We should be able to see everything and then curate it how we want, flick past things if we don't want to engage with particular political views. But the fact that this is on the radar now, I think, and call me sceptical, but I think this is a problem. I don't think we're going to see fair and balanced political coverage on social media platforms coming up to the US presidential election.
Now, Sophie, you along with Jack Horton have been causing a bit of trouble because your stories have gone viral. They're being shared by the likes of Michael Schellenberger. I saw Elon Musk comment on one of your stories. This is all about the RMIT ABC fact-checking unit and their war with Dick Smith, this leftist activist operation masquerading as a fact-checking unit, may have got itself into a bit of trouble with Dick Smith because he's going to take them to task, it seems, for suggesting that what he said was false when it appears to be quite accurate.
Well, that's right, Rita. They've put together this extensive fact-checking, dossier that says, can a country run entirely on renewable energy? And in it makes claims that, for example, that he's not pro-renewable energy. Now, I've spoken to Dick Smith and he has refuted numerous claims in here, including claims that California can run entirely on wind and solar. He's explained that they also have nuclear energy over there. So they're neglecting different parts of the puzzle here. So basically, in a nutshell, Dick Smith is saying this document is wrong and he wants it corrected on the record because it's tarnishing his reputation. He says it's full of lies. He's in the process of writing to the ABC and he says if it's not amended, he will be taking legal action.
That is an escalation if I ever heard one. But he is right. You can't just run on wind and solar. You need some sort of baseload power. You need at the very least hydro. And what large-scale economy around the world is running entirely on wind and solar? I mean, for them to suggest that what he said is false, it's dishonest. Again, and it just shows how these fact-checking units are really operating as leftist activist machines to try to convince people. When you call yourself a fact checker, then you've got to be a fact checker. You've got to be completely unbiased, down the middle, concerned only with the facts, not with the narrative.
But they're not, Rita, and that's the whole problem. We saw it during the Voice referendum. Russell Skelton is the head of these fact-checking units. Now, he was retweeting pro-Linda Burney tweets. He was pro-Voice. You could just see through his social media. They always fact-check the right. They virtually don't touch the left. And these are partisan fact-checkers. Sky News has exposed on numerous occasions these fact-checkers in the RMIT division are total activists. And a lot of them have shut down their social media because they were caught red-handed spruiking their political views. So this is not objective fact-checking.
No.
This is a partisan outfit.
Completely partisan, and not just partisan being a little left-leaning. Often when you look at some of the individuals involved in this group, they're very much on the far left spectrum of the political environment. Rapper and mogul Sean Diddy Combs had his homes in New York, Los Angeles and Miami raided by Homeland Security agents today. This is allegedly as part of a ongoing sex trafficking investigation. You can see there footage of men being dragged out in handcuffs. It's not Diddy that he wasn't home for any of these raids, but obviously he had people there who've been arrested as part of this investigation. This is enormous, Sophie, because he's not just a massive star in his own right. He owns labels. He is a very powerful figure in the music industry.
Oh, absolutely, Rita. And let's just make sure it's clear yet. We don't know if these allegations are true, so we need to just reserve our judgment here. But this is incredibly concerning, seeing that footage. Obviously, the media were tipped off because of pretty extraordinary footage there. But he's a big deal. He has a lot at stake here. And the whole world is watching this. You know, this story is going absolutely global all around the world because he's such a massive name. So it'll be really interesting, Rita, to see how it plays out, particularly for the music industry.
Well, that's it. There's been so many rumours swirling around, so many allegations that have been made. Even some high-profile people within the entertainment industry have been pointing the finger at him. So in some way, today's raids aren't an entire surprise, but then they are, given the scale of them, to be launching them consecutively across the country when really there had been no action taken, it seems, until today.
That's right, Rita. And as I said, that as you explained, they're in different cities across the US. So, again, we'll watch this story unfold, but this is a big name and very interesting story that a lot of the world will be watching incredibly closely.
Yes, I think we're going to hear all sorts of accounts on the record in the coming days. Sophie Ellsworth, thank you so much for your time this evening.
Thank you, Rita.